You're locked into Hits 92.3. The views, stories, and opinions shared on this program belong solely to the host and their guests. They do not represent the views of Hits 92.3 Radio, management, staff, partners, advertisers, parent companies, or affiliates. And if you don't know what any of that means, listener discretion is advised. Now sit back, turn up your volumes, and enjoy the content from one of the greatest, dopest radio personalities to ever touch this microphone in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Off the Clock Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew.
And this is Jordan Childs, aka Shift Guy Crop.
Really?
That's the name.
Okay, wow. Well, we were supposed to have guests today, but unfortunately had technical difficulties and, personal issues. But nevertheless, we're here. We're going to get into something pretty deep that we've been wanting to talk about for a little while. We've been going through a little bit, but we want to talk about relationships, actually. It's been a long time coming. It really has. So, So Jordan, I know you've been itching to really get a lot off your chest. So please start off.
I gotta say itching like that.
You was literally itching, sir.
I put lotion on this morning. Well, body butter.
That'll be
Shout out to
debatable.
King Cosmetics.
That'll be debatable later. But go ahead, start off, brother.
Oh man, I really don't know what much to say in all honesty. I've been through a lot of relationships. You know what I'm saying? And throughout every relationship that I've been through, it really taught me to just focus on myself. You feel me? And throughout every person that I was with, they was both a lesson and a blessing. They made me realize my worth. You know what I mean? So I just been taking the time to focus on myself because it just seems like, and I'm not going to say everybody, I'm just going to say the majority. It just feels as if a relationship is like a job. Everybody just wants you for benefits. You see what I'm saying? It's not for the love. It's more so for the benefit aspect. Like, oh, she got this, or she got that. You feel what I'm saying? They don't want to be with the person because they love them. And the thing about me is I love hard. I cherish the person that, you know what I'm saying, I want to be with, because you never know if that's going to be the person I'm going to be with the rest of my life. I want to make sure to give them my all. But at the same time, if they're not returning that same energy, what's the point? I'm not going to invest my all into somebody if they're not going to invest their all into me, because that's going to make me look like a fool. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just taking the time to focus on myself. Like, I'm not going to take the time to focus on the shorty when there's bread to be made. So
I understand that too, bro. Like, I really feel like relationships not like how our parents used to love, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know my mom and dad was married for, I want to say 31 years. I want to say.
Yeah.
My mom was 14, my dad was 15, and he'd been taking care of my mom since he was 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched, every step of what love meant back then versus now.
Mm-hmm.
We can say, like I said, yeah, we can say the majority, but we can also say maybe it's the women that we're choosing, maybe it's the women that we're attracting.
And here's another thing too. They could be attracted to our energy. You know what I'm saying? Because we have good energy and opposites attract. You know what I'm saying? Like, we good people at the end of the day. But these folk, they got bad energy. You could just sense it.
Yeah.
And they want our light because they're darkness. They want our light to basically vanquish their darkness. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead and get rid of that. They feel as if we can heal them, but we can't heal the world. So how can we heal people?
Yeah.
People have to heal for themselves. We can't be their saviors. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like they're trying to grasp what energy we're trying to muster. We trying to do so much for ourselves. And if we got to sit up here and take care of folk that don't even want to be took care of, if that makes any sense, what's the point? I'm not fun to, sacrifice every bit of my happiness to make sure somebody happy, and then they still ungrateful, because their darkness is going to overcome my light eventually, and yours too.
Yeah. That's true, man. So, what about your past relationships? What would you say, that's been like, like, break that down to me.
Good, bad, and ugly. Those are the main three. Every relationship gonna have that. You're gonna have your good times, you're gonna have your bad times, you're gonna have your ugly times. I was in my longest relationship was with my BM. You know what I'm saying? I really don't like the term baby mama, so I'm just gonna call her ex out of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, with my ex, we've been together for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? We've been through a lot together, and I'm very appreciative of the moments in which we had. I'm not going to sit up here and talk badly about her because I knew she had her faults. I knew she wasn't perfect, but I still loved her for her no matter what. You know, that was my baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could sit up here, talk about all the crap in which she's done, but that's not going to make me, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to satisfy myself. I'm sitting up here talking about somebody who I know was like, you feel me? Because it's going to take me back into that dark space again. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, throughout that relationship, bro, you know, it just wasn't meant to be. I was unhappy to begin with because there were some things in the relationship that I just felt was off. And, you know, we was communicative. You know what I'm saying? I felt as if, like, in regards to communication, I really couldn't say what I wanted to. And even if I did, it wasn't being like addressed enough. I really wasn't being listened to. And as a man, you know, especially, you know, we keep everything in. We don't want anybody to basically feel what we feeling. You know, we don't want to burden anybody with our issues because, you know, as a man especially, they're just like, oh, get over it, you know, stop being weak. We don't want to show anybody our weakness. But at the same time, it's just like we all human at the end of the day. Don't sit up here and hold in your emotions. Let everything out. How the hell is someone going to tell me how to feel? You can't tell me how to feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm me and you're you at the end of the day. So, but anyways, back to my ex, like, you know, we had a child together. Jordan, she named after me. That's literally my twin, man.
Yeah.
Literally my twin.
Yeah.
But you know, throughout that relationship, you know, we, you know, being cordial for the most part, you know, taking care of baby Jay. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that's going on in that situation too. But I have to put everything in God's hands. He wouldn't have put us in this situation, you know, obviously for a reason.
Right.
So I just have to put my faith and trust in him and, you know, just let everything flow. And, you know, if my ex is listening to this, you know, it's no hard feelings at the end of the day. You know, it is what it is. You know, I knew how I was feeling. You can't say that it was a waste because, I mean, we had good moments together. We had bad moments together, just like any other relationship. I loved you for you and you loved me for me. But at the end of the day, you know what you want for yourself. You want what's best for you. You want to be happy. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Because just imagine, there are people who are married, bro. They unhappy and they scared to leave for a majority of reasons, whether it be finances, the fear of divorce, other things too. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you unhappy, leave. Why are you going to sit up here and surround yourself with that type of energy? If you knew you was unhappy to begin with, why stay? Because I could have sat up here and say, oh yeah, it was a waste being in this relationship because I was unhappy. Well, let me go ahead and tell you something. I was young. I was green at the time. And I thought she was different than any other female because I was just like, oh, okay, I've never been treated this way, so I'm going to just go ahead with the flow. But I thought to myself, like, nah, this isn't it. And, you know, shout out to my, you know, fam, friends. I didn't let them dictate my choices because if that was the case, I would have broke up with her a long time ago.
Right.
You know, older folk especially, they sense energy because they've been around the block. They know the type of person somebody is. They not overthinking it. They only want what's best for you. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, that's pretty much the situation with that. And I had prior exes too, you know, different situations, you know, due to other reasons, like I said. But, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, I feel as if throughout every relationship, it just taught me to focus on myself and get together what I need to. This is still a new experience for me because I'm a single father. You know, as much as I would love to have fun, go out, turn up, or be outside like everybody says, bro, I'd rather be making money. I'd rather be doing this. I'd rather be making content. You know, I'd rather be at the gym. You know, I'm 32 years old, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how much longer I have to live. I can die within 5 minutes of this. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to jinx myself, knock on wood, but you never know what's going to happen. And you have to live for the moment. You know, live for the moment, bro. Make every moment count. Memories are forever.
That's true, bro. Yeah, I feel you on that, man.
Yes,
Seriously,
sir.
just watching my folks, man.
Mhm.
With their relationship. Like I said, I've been a son myself, man, and it took me a while to heal, from that actually. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So that's one of the reasons I moved here to get away from all that pain. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
all that memory and stuff like that. It was definitely a battle,
for
honestly,
sure.
because 6 years being with somebody, but
Mhm.
the last, let's just say, maybe 2.5 years was really toxic turmoil,
Yep.
and it was really bad for me. And I started, having bad thoughts about, if like, why am I here? Like, why I got to keep going through this? Like, I'm
Yeah.
getting hit with so much negative. Where trying to get money, it's tough. Dealing with court stuff, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
And I really couldn't get a place. And I got out here, so I had to bow that out. You know, trying to heal from that. That pain and everything. And I just started remembering, some of the things that, my dad said. He's like, you know, when he was living, he was like, you got a blessing on you that's so strong that, when you realize, that you can do everything, on your own, like you've been doing it, when you was coming up, watch how
Mhm.
the doors start opening for you.
Nah, for
And
sure.
I started seeing that,
Mhm.
I got, started getting my place and all that stuff. I start healing better. A lot of people they feel like when you break up with somebody, you go through a bad breakup. They feel like the first thing they want to do is sleep with a bunch of women to feel like
Yep.
that to for the pain, and you're
Mhm.
not healing the pain. You're just satisfying the flesh right now, but you're not getting to the root of the problem of why you in pain. How can you heal from this pain?
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with talking to somebody.
Exactly,
There's nothing
bro.
wrong with that. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, don't like that. I guess going to talk to, a counselor or, a shrink, what they call it,
Mhm.
because they feel like they crazy. It's not crazy. You understand and you realize that you need the help. You need someone to talk to get this, to rule that pain so you can, live your life.
And that's the thing too. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like back to the sleeping thing.
Mm-hmm.
You sleeping with a whole bunch of different energies. Them energies are coming upon you,
Mm-hmm.
and your energy is coming upon them.
Yeah.
So both of y'all gonna be carrying some toxic energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna help your reputation either. It's gonna worsen it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why people. I mean, obviously, we have obviously,
Yeah.
you can't, but it
Yeah.
don't really help none
Just,
because it's just like it's not the type of people that we're gonna be with. It's just somebody that we want temporary for that, that feeling.
right.
Because it's just like when it's all said and done, it's just like, dang, I can't believe I did this, but it happens. We grown at the end of the day.
Right.
I'm the type of person now where I'm just like, if I'm with a shorty or whatever, let's just vibe, let's just chill. We don't even got to do too much. We can eat, watch movies, like let's just go with the flow. Not everything got to be about sex all the time. And that's what made me learn a little bit. It's just like I don't always have to have sex to satisfy myself. I can just chill with a shorty and be cool the rest of the day because there's no feelings attached. Now if stuff happens, hey, it was meant to be. It's all natural. Like I said, we grown at the end of the day. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's just like let me vibe with you. Let me get to know you. I don't. Not only do I want to know your favorite color and what you like to wear and stuff like that, but I want to think something deeply. You know what I'm saying? Like let's think on a spiritual level, bro. You know what I'm saying? Do you believe in God? What's your religion? Do you like taking nature walks? Like real talk though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So
understand.
just vibe with me. Like I'm one of the most chillest dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That you can chop it up with, bro. Like I don't judge nobody because God judges at the end of the day. So who am I to judge you? Be you. All of us are human. I'm sitting up here talking about another human, but I'm another human. You know what I'm saying? Just be you. Life is short. You never know what's gonna happen. Like I said.
That's true, bro. Like I feel you on that, man. Seriously. That's why now I've just been like I said, focused on work and building and getting myself back to where I need to be at. I'm thankful that I'm breathing, I'm in good health and everything.
Yep.
Like I said, been single for about 6 years, you know what I mean? So but
Yeah.
it's for me, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I just like for me it's like you said, it's too many different energies, man, and a lot of energies hasn't been good,
Exactly.
you know.
And you
So
taking in all that energy too. You're gonna basically act like this person, that person. Shoot, the person you was with 30 minutes ago. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's just a drain, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's a drain. It really is, man. Seriously, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I feel about too. Is like You know, like I said, it's too much energy, it's too much toxicness that's going around you.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I knew we was gonna get on this topic, but you know, body counts, for example, it's just like, see, it's not even insecure in asking somebody what their body count is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I mean, yeah, you've done this with this many people, but it's just like, I want to know what I'm getting myself into, because if we have sex and we done after the fact, your energy is a part of me and my energy is a part of yours. And there's no telling how many bodies you've had. You could have had over 100 bodies, and I have all them people in me, and I'm feeling the way that I am, which is not good.
You know, I don't think, you know, I think for me, you know, you can say most definitely it's a part of it, but I feel like, do you still have feelings for any of those people?
Exactly. And that's another thing too, because it's just like, I don't want to have attachments with somebody if they have attachments with somebody else.
Yeah.
And another thing too, they want to be like, oh, well, you don't got to worry about them because I'm with you. But I'm just like, okay, but you still did it with this person, and you're still talking about this person as if you still have feelings for them. Like, I've been with a lot of shorties. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to keep it real. I've been with a lot of shorties. Now, do I want to be with some of them again? Yes and no. I'm going to keep it real with you. Some of them, you know, they're in relationships, they married, you know, they don't want to be in relationships, you know, they doing their thing. I can't even be mad. I'm going to just let them be them. Like, I can't force them to come back to me unless it's meant to be. But it's just like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, you can't go back in the past, bro. And your block, like I said, it's kind of like a wall. You'll miss the future if you go back in the past, and it feel like it's further and further away. So I never want to go back in the past.
Exactly. It'd be like you going back to your mistakes and that you never learned from.
Yeah, because learning from your mistakes is not doing it again. Because the what Jada say, a mistake and a mistake if you do more than once.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna, you know, I've learned not to make the same mistakes. You know, it's all about, you know, you pray, you think before you act.
Yep.
You understand that everything you do, whether it's good or bad, has a cause and effect behind it.
For sure.
You know, so that's what I'd rather do good things where I get good effect back versus bad.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, for me, I just work all the time. You know, like I said, I don't go out unless you come down here.
Yeah.
So it's just I just want to keep myself cool. You know what I mean? And the next person, you know, I wind up with, like I said, you know, I'm not expecting, you know, them to meet everything standards I have, because there's be a perfect woman. There's no such thing as a perfect woman nor a perfect man. Yep. You know what I mean? I don't condone what we do as men. Like, it's bad. Like I said, I don't condone that at all. You know what I mean? I know we have some things we have to work on too. It ain't just them, it's us too.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us, you know, we think that, you know, there's not a lot of leaders no more. So when we're not leading, it's forcing the women to have to be, you know, independent and do things on their own, because they can't come to us if we're not being the man that they want us to be, or we need to be. And you know what I'm saying? And I see that a lot. Yeah. No, seriously. You know, I spoke with someone the other day. She was trying to do the house, pour the carpet, all that stuff. And, you know, she was saying she has to do that because the last guy she was with, being a leader, he didn't know how to change a tire or anything, right? Yeah. And like I said, you know, as men, as us, man, we have to be better.
Yes, sir.
You know, we can't be, you know, just doing, you know, so not being the men that we should be. The reason why I got trades, because I feel like, for me, I shouldn't ask another man for something I should already know how to do.
Absolutely.
That's why I did these trades, bro. Because I'm like, I don't want to end up calling another man, you know, to come unclog a drain or come do a tire or oil change or anything like that. I'm like, I don't want to have that. You know what I mean? I should be able to do that on my own, right?
Exactly.
And
save bread too.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Because boy, it is hard. It's hard, but that's why I did that, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, we have to be better as men as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, yeah, we understand women and men has flaws, of course. Yeah. But how do we work on it? How do we deal with it? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like I said, it may take two. You know what I'm saying? We sit down and talk, and let's work on our flaws together, right? I support you in yours, help you be better with yours, help me be better with mine.
Exactly.
You know, and it's not enough of that anymore.
Sure.
The communication is really lacking. You know, like I said, you know, love is a business now. Because when you, like marriage, like one of my cousins, man, you know, he don't believe in marriage. at all. He don't. He says because he feel like, until a certain degree, I kind of understand, but it's tricky.
Yeah.
He says that he don't believe in signing the papers, and of course telling him how much, what I'm saying, like telling me how much I love my wife or whatever it may be,
Oh yeah, definitely.
or even when it comes to child support, like, telling me that I gotta get this amount to my kids. I want to give my kids the world.
Exactly.
But it's a whole lot of just confusion. Me and him had, like I said, a long conversation about it, and I just asked. I said, bro, so you're basically, we still gotta go by the book. The Bible still gotta go by that, bro. You know what I mean? Seriously, because when you break one commandment, you break them all.
Mm.
So you gotta do right. And I mean, do I agree with the paper thing? I really don't agree with paper thing.
I don't either, because it's just like, why do I got to sit up here and sign on a dotted line about something?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to sign about love. Nah, love come from the heart. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I got to put all that down on a piece of paper. Got to twist
it. That's what's really bad for me a lot of times. I remember when I was at one of my guys' wedding, I was one of his best men. And I'm just seeing, how happy he was and stuff like that. And, I'm like, wow, so it's kind of like you sound like a contract or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, wow, like we're doing that. I'm like, if I'm gonna sign a contract, shoot, I should better get a multi-million-dollar contract then if I'm doing all this. This is crazy. Like, come on, bro. Like, but that's the world we live in, man. And we have to adapt. Yeah.
That's why I wish I was a kid again, man, because once you start growing up, you start realizing things for what it is.
Yeah.
But even as a little shorty, I started peeping things, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I actually got into the situation itself where I'm just like, dang, it is real out here.
It is. From bills to relationships to everything, bro. It's tough, man.
For sure.
I'm gonna ask you this though, too. Like, so going through what you went through, Shabim and everything, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's currently too. How do you deal with that though, man? Like, how you deal with,
prayer.
Yeah.
Like every relationship that I've been through too, bro, has helped me to strengthen my relationship with God. God was the one that put us all in certain situations, but he doesn't put us in situations that we can't handle. It's the devil too. The devil used to be an angel. You see what I'm saying? So when we think it's God, it's the devil. But you got to think to yourself, it's just like, God wouldn't put me in this situation, so it has to be the devil. You feel what I'm saying? The devil trying to trick me into thinking that it is God, but it's him. He's trying to make me lose my faith in God. And I'm never going to lose my faith in God ever again anyways, because there have been times where I've lost my faith in God.
You know what? I would say this, like it may not, I'm not going to say for me, the devil is really us, the flesh.
Because the body is a temple.
Yeah. So it's, a lot of us, we get so quick to say, the devil this. No, we're grown. We're making our own decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God shows you that we're, weak-minded to look at the signals and understand, so it sits you down, right? God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers.
Not for real.
So we have to, you know what I mean? So yes, I mean, we're human. So sometimes we do feel like, we blame God. And come on, we have.
Yeah.
It's not being perfect. You know what I mean? We're so quick to call him when we're in trouble, but we don't never thank him, or we don't never pray for him when we are in trouble.
Not for real.
You know what I mean? So when we out of it, whoa, you know what I'm saying? We thanking him, you know what I'm saying? Or when we out of trouble, we don't think about him. We don't nothing. But with the moment we get in trouble, we call him first. So why we can't continue that? Why we can't continue to thank him for getting up? You know what I'm saying? Thank him for being in good health. Just simple thing. Why we can't say a small prayer in the morning? Why we can't do that?
People don't want to, man. They don't want to.
Yeah.
They find the time to do everything else, but they can't get down on their knees and pray to the man that gives them life every day.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that.
Even like I said, that's why I come with relationships. It's him.
It is.
You know what I mean? We got to talk to him about things. A lot of times, man, we get away from all that. You know what I'm saying? So we argue, we bicker. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's sad.
It is.
Like I said, I watched my mom and dad. They have argument moments,
Sure.
but my dad was a minister. He understood. You know what I mean? If he yelled at my mom, one thing I would say, he said, "Baby, listen, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I let cool. Like I said, I let my I'm praying to God to be better every single day. He said, I love you, being better. And like I said, I watch a lot of that. I try to do the best I can too. And, you know, when I was with someone, man, and try to be, as faithful and try to provide and do the best I possibly can.
For sure.
But the times we're living in, though, you know what I'm saying, as men, we do need a little bit of help, right? Because everything is just so high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not expecting you to, do everything. No, I would never in my life do that.
Exactly, bro.
Trust and believe. I'm going to make sure, do everything I can, to make sure that, or if I have kids, whatever, maybe make sure they're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing, bro. So I don't know. It's tough. I never really did long distance relationship. I don't. To me, I don't feel like they work. I don't.
See, if y'all, really in love, because,
Mhm.
different stroke for different folks, you feel me?
Yeah.
If you can do a long distance relationship, you can do a long distance relationship. But at the same time, it's just like the type of person that I am, we are especially.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I want to be able to see my shorty. I want to be able to hold on to her, cuddle with her, make love to her.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to be doing that? Since all we going to be on the phone, calling like this. I'm talking about, mwah, mwah. Yeah, that's cool and everything. But at the same time, it's like,
You can't kiss the phone too much. Mess the circus up.
Exactly. The phone gonna stink. That boarded breath is a bug. But
I guess you know, huh?
Oh, you wanna go there? But yeah, with long distance, man, it's just like I've done a few long distance relationships, and this was in the past though. I was young though. I was real young.
Sure. I'm about to say, man, you didn't tell me you did long distance relationship.
Yeah, I was like 13 at the time because
that ain't no relationship, man.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like it was long distance. You feel what I'm saying? And it was this shorty. Her name was Nunu or whatever. Like off that ATL movie. Shout out to Nunu. I don't know if that was your real name though, or if you just told me that was your real name to make like a little ATL tour or whatever. But anyways, it's
wait a minute. Hold on. Talk about where you meet? Where at? Where you meet her at?
It was on a computer. I don't remember like the site, but I just knew we met. Oh no. No, wait. It was MySpace at the time. She had a request.
Oh,
and we was talking.
Yeah.
And we was talking and everything like that. And we thought we was in love. But we was like 12, 13 at the time. We didn't know what love was because we would talk every day. Like I would go on the computer and instead of doing homework, I'd be on there talking with her. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
And yeah, bro, that was probably like one of the only long distance relationships that I had. You see what I'm saying?
So that was like a computer relationship?
Pretty much. But it was another relationship too, though. Mm. This was like, actually, I think I was like 19, 20 years old.
Okay. Oh, right.
And she lived in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ohio, like, depending on what area you go to.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Okay, yeah.
But anyways, it's like I told her, I was just like, I can't be with you because, for one, at the time I wasn't mobile, whatever. I didn't have no car. Yeah. I was working towards getting a car, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this isn't going to work out because, and I'm not trying to proclaim myself as a cheater or anything like that, but it's just like, there's so many women where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many men where she's at.
Yeah.
She could mess around, fall in love with a man. I could mess around, fall in love with, another woman while I'm here.
Right.
And temptation going to set in. But the thing about temptation, bro, if you give into it, it's too late. If you don't give into it, obviously, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like that temptation gonna set in eventually. It's like I want to be able to have a shorty I can just hold on to, whisper in her ear, tell him I love him, all that, mushy stuff. Oh, I wouldn't call it mushy. I am mushy. I don't care. Mm-hmm. But I want to be able to do that with my shorty. You know what I'm saying?
You mushy.
If I'm doing, if I, if I text it, it's not gonna have no feeling. You know what I'm saying? Versus me actually saying it to you in person.
Well, if you're in a relationship and or long distance, and like you said, you're texting more than on the phone, I feel like it won't have the same effect or meaning behind that. You know what I mean? Exactly. So you want to see her in person like that. But wow, I'm still like shocked about this though. This MySpace thing.
Yeah.
So really, like,
I was way back in the day.
No, I had MySpace too, but I just never. My dad said, Don't talk to nobody like that, right? Yeah. But I didn't, I really didn't pay attention to it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think though, man. Have I ever? I mean, I'm not gonna say that I was with somebody, but I talked to like girls from, no, I would say long distance. I did go see one.
Yeah.
I did go see one in Richmond, Indiana. I was in Michigan City. That was a 4.5 hour drive.
Mhm.
I said, "It's gonna be like this." Well, just gonna turn to short distance because I would not be coming back. I didn't know it was that far. Like I'm like, seriously, I did not know it was that far. I'm like, she like, I expect you to come in, see me often. I said, well, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't meet the expectation because
I mean, unless y'all really
no.
feel for each other,
Man,
and
I don't care how much
really,
I feel. I'm
y'all
not
really feel as
driving.
if y'all could work a bit. Hey, connection.
Disconnect. Disconnect. 'Cause I'm not driving 4 hours.
Ow.
No, I'm not. Nah, man. I thought we did. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought maybe we could have had something. In a way.
Yeah.
I was a little older at the time, so wasn't super old, nothing like that. Wasn't super old. You know what I mean? But I thought we, gonna have something, man. You know what I mean? So dang, no matter of fact, this is 7. But I think a few months after my father passed, man.
Dang, I think I was like 13 in 07. Hey,
Well,
those were the days.
Yeah. So like I remember, was I 20? No, I was 22 at the time, 21, 22.
Dang.
And like I said, and I went there and I thought we could, you know what I'm saying? She seemed like she was genuine.
Mhm.
I met her off this thing. It was called, I think it was called Bear Share or something like that. You could play music and talk to people and all that stuff.
Bear Share.
Yeah. It was kind of like LimeWire. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But but people, they banned that because it was getting spam and all this stuff in people's files and so that's what, what I mean. But I used to talk to a lot of women on there, but I just never, what I'm saying, this long distance, man, I just, like you said, it ain't the same while you're not being here.
Exactly.
I won't be able to call you like, hey, what you doing? Let's go to the movie, let's go bowling, let's go, somewhere fun, right?
Yeah.
And me not having that, I just stopped.
And then it's like in the back of my mind, obviously I'm hoping it's not true, but it's just like, dang, like all these hours, you know what I'm saying? They could be doing a lot within these hours. Like, are they seeing somebody? You know what I'm saying? I can't, know if they're talking to somebody or not, or if they already have somebody over there.
Trust is
trust is definitely a big factor.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm a ask my shorty, hey, can you send me a picture where you're at, or me having to ask for their location and stuff, because you can be at this location, but shoot, is it the location to your house, somebody else's house? I mean, did your phone upgrade? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you really actually here? Because there's some, there's some times where like you can have somebody's location and they're not even there. You know what I mean? But your trust is definitely a big factor, bro.
It is.
Trust, loyalty is definitely a big factor, especially in relationships. And there's been times I've been cheated on, bro. It hurts, but
how you deal with that though? Like, how you deal with being cheated on? Like,
let me go ahead and take another drink of this real quick, y'all. Shout out to Hungry AF. I don't want to cuss, but how I deal with it, I'm not gonna lie, just going to the gym. And like I said, prayer. Like I said, throughout every situation that you go through, give grace to God, give prayer to God, pray to Him. He wants you to pray to you in them type of moments. You know what I'm saying? There's been times, right now, where I've been completely down to the point I didn't even want to get myself up. I didn't want anybody to help me up. I wanted to stay where I was at, because I'm just like, if I get up, crap is gonna get worse. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's just like, I have a purpose. God put us here for a purpose. He put us here for a reason. I got to pray to Him. I got to muster up the strength to get up and keep on walking. Because if I stay around, be stagnant, how will I know what's out there for me if I'm still in the same spot? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, throughout that, I mean, it was just prayer, going to the gym, being around, you obviously, family, you pretty much family at this point, just being around people that bring good energy and help me to forget that, versus just, being in the house, eating ice cream, watching, love stories or whatever that are relatable to my situation. Like, man, I know what she's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what helps me, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if you don't do anything to keep yourself busy, bro, man, you gonna feel, you gotta keep yourself busy. And this is how I take it. if you're not keeping yourself busy, you're not doing enough. Or if you keep, thinking about the same stuff, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing enough. You're not keeping yourself busy. You're not keeping yourself prioritized. You have to keep moving. That's the goal.
Mhm.
And I always say moving and grooving. I don't just say that when I'm on the basketball court. I relate that to life too. You got to keep moving and grooving. If you still stagnant, you're going to be in the same place in life, literally.
That's true, bro. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I dealt with it. It was. I think me got cheated on, bro. It was really tough.
Yeah.
Like it took a lot for me not to really like just go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I really had feelings for her, right? And just when you see that, of what happened, it was just like, wow, like I just can't, it's kind of like, whole world just crumbled,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, wow, I just, what I'm saying, like, the first thoughts in my mind was not good ones. I'll tell you that. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, but, I just hated that I wasted that much time, knowing, I wish I kind of would have knew, maybe a mind reader or future reader at that time, but like you said, Jim helped me. I talked to, my other cousins and uncles and pastors and prayed like never before.
Yeah.
And you got to. And like I said, I'm here today. And like I said, alive and well,
Mm-hmm.
trying to, what I'm saying, like I said, to continue to keep building.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about me, dog. I'm just trying to keep building and building. Cause like I said, I don't envision myself, what I'm saying, to first of all work, until I'm 70. That's not gonna happen.
No.
You know what I
Hell
mean?
no.
So, and then second, I just want to make sure, the next person, man, like, you know, I want it to be, genuine.
Mm-hmm.
I want somebody that's gonna add to my peace, man, not disturb it.
Amen to that.
You know what I mean? If you can't add to my peace, I don't need you around me.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be around good energy, bro.
You
You don't want to. You don't want to be with a woman, that destroys your mental. Your
Yeah.
mental is everything. They
Mhm.
say the body is a temple, but your mental is the main thing, bro.
Yeah.
Once you lose your mental, you lose everything for real.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything that you learned about yourself in all the relationships you've been in?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What some of the things you learned about yourself?
Trust, most definitely. I'm not
Mhm.
even gonna lie to you.
Mhm.
Of all the times in which I've been cheated on and had stuff that I didn't know was being done to me was done to me,
Mhm.
I was like, dang, like really? You know what I'm saying? It seems like the same repetition. But I feel as if it was just a sign. It was just like, you know what? I gotta start doing this, doing that more.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, realizing my worth. Being with all these women, because I've been with a lot of women. Relationship wise, yeah. But being with a majority of these women, it helped me learn about myself, like, realize my worth, realize what I need to do to make myself happy
Yeah.
versus me trying to make them happy, even though they ungrateful.
So
They always asking for the most littlest of things, right?
Mhm.
I give it to them, but they still asking for more.
Mhm.
And it's just like, okay, this has got to stop. This is like a pattern.
Mhm.
It's like they're abusing my heart. They're abusing my kindness. They're taking advantage of it. And they want to use that against me
Mhm.
because they know I won't use it against them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I'm with a shorty, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give my time to him. I'm going to give my life to him because this is the person
Yeah.
that I may marry someday.
Okay.
I mean, at the same time, too, I got to have the mindset like, wow, I'm either going to be with this person the rest of my life or we're going to break up. That's the sad reality of it,
Yeah.
just to keep it real with you.
Do you feel like you want to be married someday?
Absolutely, if it's meant to be. But in this generation, bro, I'm not even going to lie to you. It might sound cliche. It just don't seem that way. People don't have morals. They don't got values. They don't got principles, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you can be with a woman, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of your homies who say they're your homies or whatever, or even just know of you,
Mhm.
they know you've been together for a long, long time.
Mhm.
And the moment y'all break up,
Mhm.
they wait for their chance. Or even your shorty, your ex.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Once y'all were split,
Mhm.
then they start talking. And then your homie know y'all got history.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. It's just like, dang, it just seemed like a waste, like being with somebody this so many years.
Mhm.
You dig what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And doing a one night stand that happened for 2 hours. So basically, I've been with somebody 2 years, but for my buddy to be with this person or so-called buddy,
Mhm.
2 hours worth of a one night stand. You dig what I'm saying?
Well, I think it just depends. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like, how do you feel about, as far as, maybe from both sides as well, But let me give you my take real quick before I get to that.
For sure.
So one thing I did learn about me in a relationship is that, and like I said, that for me, I have to be more patient.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to be more understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Seriously, because I think it's not, we don't, like, as men, like I said, we take leadership and dominance a little too far sometimes.
We really do.
I'm
not even gonna lie to you on that.
Yeah, when we lead, we're supposed to be the leader of the household. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not supposed to be controlling her.
Mm-hmm.
That's not us. Mm-hmm. We lead by example.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So whenever we have an issue, you know what I'm saying, for me, I'm gonna run it by her first.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna run it by her. Even like I said, prime example. The only thing I say I'll still run it by her, but there's no debate in that situation. Is my mother.
Yeah.
If I gotta take care of her, she has to stay with us a little bit because I have to care and nurture her and make sure she's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run it by you,
but
you have to be understanding she's gonna stay here because that's my mom. Just like vice versa. If you tell me your mom needs to stay, I ain't got no complaints about it at all. We're in this together. So that's one thing I've learned. So a few things I learned about myself. Also, too, man, I learned that also I can be, you know what I'm saying, I fight a little too nice at times.
Ooh, wait, say that
again. Seriously. But like I said, those things that I felt like I needed to work on, I worked on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now I feel, a whole lot better, you know what I mean, with everything. And it's just, like I said, relationships, like I said, it's a never ending process of being better because you're going to always have to keep growing each and every day. There's no stopping point of growth. You just keep growing. Exactly. And you keep adjusting and you keep, you stay together.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make decisions together.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be one without the other.
Exactly.
And that's how I feel about everything, man. But I'm actually like,
yeah. Because I was gonna add on to that too. My apologies.
Yeah.
But now, like, back with the too nice thing. That's one of the things I had to learn for myself too. Is like I can be way too nice.
Mm-hmm.
I say I'm very patient for the most part. You feel me? Because of everything that I've been through, and I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've had my thoughts. Don't get me wrong. But I stayed patient.
Absolutely.
And I thought about the consequences of the actions in which I could have partook in. I was like, it's not even worth it.
Absolutely.
Let me see. It also taught me, like I said, to realize my worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what's best for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't do what's best for these people that are unthankful. Don't appreciate everything and what you do for them.
Mm-hmm.
But back to what you was getting ready to say, though. My apologies on that.
No, you can. So let me ask you. So how you feel about, from both sides, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this one. How you feel about a woman having male friends and also like being cool with her friends or her ex that she had history with? Like, how do you feel about that?
Hell no.
Okay. Whew. Felt that in my chest, sir. So why is that?
Because you got to think about it. Why are you friends with somebody you still have feelings for, and y'all used to be together? I mean, I understand y'all grown at the end of the day, but it's just like, if you want to sit up here and move on, why are you still friends with your ex? Y'all got history. Mm-hmm. That's like me being friends with one of my exes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been together for like 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. Like, the memories are there. They're not going to disappear. They last forever. And then I got to be with the next person. They're going to question me too. They're going to be like, oh, you still friends with your ex? Like, what if the woman I'm with, she's not friends with her ex, but I'm sitting up here friends with my ex? That's going to be awkward. For all you know, my ex could still have feelings for me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if they single, taken, like, we still got history no matter what way you look at it. That's not me being insecure. That's just the reality of it. You feel me? Because it's just like, if my shorty, they friends with their ex, I'm going to have a conversation with them. I'm just like, I feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a cool, laid back, cordial person. And you know this. I've dealt with more than enough. I can't speak for everybody else. But it's just like, don't overstep your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to overstep. Like, if a shorty tell me how uncomfortable they feel with me, or not me, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If they feel uncomfortable with something, we can talk it out. We're going to be on the same page. But if you sitting up here doing stuff that you said you're uncomfortable with, or that I'm uncomfortable with, you a hypocrite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, oh, okay, it's cool for you to have this, but it's not cool for me to have this. Didn't we just have a conversation on this?
You know, that's
Yeah.
I asked that question because I was talking with someone, before went out, and she was telling me that, and it's crazy to me, mind-boggling actually. She's still friends with her ex, and they, what I'm saying, and she has a lot of male friends, even some of them that she actually had history with.
Now the thing about male friends,
Mm.
I'm not gonna mind the male friends.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got female friends.
Well, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like who's like messed around with like in that way.
Oh, they messed around?
Yeah.
No.
Just saying. So that's what she's like, what threw me off. She was like, we can all get together and meet. I'm sitting back to myself. I said, is she on drugs or something?
Dude, like this man has seen you naked.
Yeah, like I want to ask, like,
You know what your morning breath smell like, and you
Yeah.
expect me to meet this guy?
man,
Man, what? Oh no, nah. Wake up from this dream. Shoot,
Man.
I'll take another drink of this. Put some vodka in here. Ain't no way.
But yeah, so like I said, she had told me. She said that the reason why her ex and her are still friends because they had the breakup wasn't bad. I said the key word is a breakup. It was bad.
The breakup wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'm like, so
It's still a breakup.
Yes, exactly. That's what I told her. And she was like, well, she said, I'm not gonna cut them off, try to get to know you. I said, well, I mean, that's fine. You know what I mean? But it's just great. I've never been, for me, I don't want to be friends with my ex because the next one I talk to, I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable.
That's what I'm saying.
So I do have, so on real talk, bro, only got 2 female friends. Met one at church, one just at school, but we never had that interaction ever. Never have.
Now here's the thing. It's like, now if they with somebody,
yeah.
See, it's kind of,
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it really is.
Because it's just like, it's still like, why are you still friends with your ex? I mean, yeah, they're with somebody, but it's like,
yeah, because she told me, she was like, she know him and he's married now, so like that. So what are y'all still talking for? If he's married,
because you got to think about it. And I'm not saying this could happen. I'm just saying this as a scenario. What if they break up and you and your shorty or whoever you with break up, and then y'all end up back together?
Yeah,
and it's just like, then what was the whole point of us breaking up?
Yeah, what they always say, what's that? History repeats itself, right?
Exactly.
So that's how I look at it, bro. That's why for me, I'm like, man, I can understand if you do have a friend that's a guy, y'all been cool, in school for so long. That's cool. I have no issue with that.
Right.
I'm not gonna be upset now, but I think there's boundaries you set. Though,
that's what I'm saying.
Right? You know what I mean? Like even for me, like I said, one of my female friends that I'm real close to, and we don't talk every day at all. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal, but like I said, she has a daughter and she's working. I work like crazy, and I'm taking care of my mom.
Yeah.
But whenever I call or she reaches out to me, it's all love, man. Like, hey, how you been doing? How's life treating you? Stuff like that. We'll bring her back in the day of high school, right? You know what I'm saying? Or just just everyday life. You know what I mean? But we always been real close and been very respectable.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, my other friend, I met her at church. Real laid back and cool. And I tell you, man, like, thanks to one of my cousins, that kind of introduced me, and we just became close, bro. It was never nothing where I wanted to, try to get with her like that. You know what I mean? I ain't look at her like that. I look at her, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we close, you know what I mean? If you got issues, I'll do the best I can to give you advice. She's called me and asked for my advice and my take on things, man. Sure. And it feels good to have somebody to call me and I can, do the best I can to help. It's a blessing, man. But yeah, I don't know, like for me, I couldn't, I can't be with nobody that has, being friends with their ex, because I dealt with that. I dealt with that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just can't do it. You know what I mean? I don't want it. Yeah, I just don't want nothing to escalate to nothing, big.
Right.
It's not worth it.
I don't even get that, because it's just like all of these men, women in the world, but you want to sit up here and be with mine.
Yeah.
If that was the case, just go ahead and be with them. I can go ahead and be on about my way. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to sit up here and be with me, but you just like, no, he just a friend, or no, he just a brother. What? Incest? Man, get on out of here with that, bro. Somehow he just a brother or she just a sister. Yeah, okay. Because the moment I leave, they gonna be trying to shoot their shot. Like, ain't nobody slick. We know the rules to this game.
Well, you
And
just
even
gotta-
if it's not the case, it's the
Mm.
principle. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
want to play us as if we're stupid. Nah, we've been through the crap. And don't
Mm.
sit up here and say, oh, you're just being insecure. You're not understanding. Man, that bull crap isn't gonna fly on me, faking your emotions and stuff like that, being all prissy and crap like that. And your breath stink.
Yeah, I gotta say though, man, you have a very, very good alter ego. Very. That was great.
What?
That was great. That was
This is
great.
my personality, man.
I'm not gonna say his personality, but no, man, like I said, like my mom the other day, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I watch her, you know, since my dad been gone, you know, it's been tough, man. It's been tough. You know, she tried to, you know, talk with somebody. He wasn't at first kind of started off pretty good. You know, I mean, it's crazy because he knew my dad actually, you know what I mean, which they all went to school together, which is crazy. I'm like, wow, you know. He started off good and it just went downhill. But I asked my mom, what do you think you could have done? You know, could you done something a little different possibly? Because, you know what I'm saying? I watched some of the stuff that went on. I said, Mom, I think I said to me, I think what happened a little bit to me